Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the New York Jets having interest in Devonta Freeman. Why? I don't know. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You could also tune into the podcast every Monday. New episodes drop on the channel here, and wherever you download your podcast, call in, leave me your question. I'll try to get to it on the show. So Devonta Freeman was a cap casualty from the Atlanta Falcons. He is better known for his production in 2015-16 and a little bit of 2017. The last 2 years have been really troublesome for Freeman. Last year, he had 656 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged just 3.6 yards per attempt. Wasn't really all that productive. The year prior, in 2018, he played just 2 games, had like 60 rushing yards in those 2 games, and he had a foot and groin injury that kept him off the field. Supposedly, he turned down an offer from the Seattle Seahawks, which was for about $4 million a year on a 1-year deal. So if the Jets are going to offer him $4 million or potentially even higher, that would be a massive mistake. The Jets already have Le'Veon Bell, Frank Gore, La'Mical Pirine, and if you wanted to add another body to that running back room, why wouldn't you just sign someone to the veterans minimum like Powell, who's been there forever, then pay someone $4+ million who's rushed for 600 yards over the last 2 years? It just doesn't make any logical sense. At this point, Freeman, he's just done. It's unfortunate running backs don't really last that long in this league. He's 28 years old, had major injury a couple of years ago, and last year he wasn't very good. Why are you going to pay him $4+ million to come in here and compete with Frank Gore, who's a million years old, but you already brought in to be running back number 2, and Le'Veon Bell, who wasn't utilized properly last year, we understand that, is still someone who's productive and can catch passes in the passing game, line up in the slot, do a little bit of different things in this offense, and it would just be another excuse for Adam Gase to limit the carries of Le'Veon Bell or the amount of touches that Le'Veon would get in a week. You're better off taking that money and investing it elsewhere. If you sign Freeman, you're just essentially lighting $4 million on fire because you're not going to get that value on the return from signing a guy like Freeman. But if you take that and maybe double it and bring in a Warford or bring in a Logan Ryan on the defensive side of the ball, it'd make a little bit more sense. But I lean more towards the offense needing improvement because they were 31st in the league in DVOA last year, in offensive DVOA. Defense, they were 10th. They're getting guys like CJ Mosley back. They added to that cornerback room. I think you're just about set on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, an edge rusher would be nice, but I don't know where you're finding one right now. Obviously, on the offense, I think you definitely have to look to add another body at guard, and Warford sitting there, a Pro Bowl caliber guard, would be phenomenal. And you could probably use some help at the wide receiver position. You know Quincy Nunn was not going to play. Mims is a rookie, and I eventually think he's going to be someone who's going to be able to start and put up 800+ receiving yards in a year, but to expect that in year one's a little bit rich. You have Perryman, who was really good in the last 5 games last year, hasn't really done a whole lot in his career before that. You're hoping that he is closer to that, last 5 weeks last year. Maybe he's someone who can get about 800 receiving yards. I wouldn't expect too much out of that. Crowder, solid in the slot, but outside of that, your fourth body is who? Braxton Berrios? Vincent Smith? Josh Doxson, who's been pretty bad the last couple of years? It's not that enticing. I would rather maybe use that money and try to invest in a wide receiver who's sitting there. Taylor Gabriel sitting out there for the taking if you want to take a shot on him. Maybe you bring back Demaryius Thomas and don't really utilize him more than like your 4th wide receiver, but if he's 4th on the depth chart, I could live with that for, $2 million or whatever it's going to cost. But you're better off getting a more position of need for that money, or even having to spend a little bit more if it's for bringing in someone as quality as Warford. But bringing in another running back at that price would just be a massive mistake. And for Freeman, who hasn't been productive really since 2017, hasn't cracked 1,000 yards since 2016, I don't know why you're going to do that. That's just my take on it. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for this Jets team. Like I said, you already brought in a veteran in Gore. You drafted La'Mical Pirine, and you still have Le'Veon Bell under contract for this year, and hopefully he's utilized a little bit better in 2020. Nonetheless, let me know what you think of the Jets being interested in Devonta Freeman down in the comments below. Get at me on social media, and once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Talk to you next time.